Hey, man. Just come in and got the same hoodie on, man. No Diddy, man. I ain't on that Meek Mill. I ain't on that Meek Mill Diddy shit. Ain't that right, gang? I ain't on no Diddy shit, man. He just so happened to get the same hoodie I got.
What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
And Meek Mill, mind your business. Ain't Diddy playing in your booty hole, pussy boy? Huh? Ain't Diddy you in your ass? Why you on my tweet around the Maybach trucks? Y'all bitches. 21, where you at?
People are looking at that and saying Meek Mill is wrong for saying no Diddy. But you can't tell a man how to spend his money and how to make love to his wife or his Diddy. I don't know, Mike. I just don't know.
I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am today, and I'm proud of that.
Damn, just when you thought the Diddy drama had officially peaked, when the lawsuits, wild rumors, and industry whispers seemed like they couldn't get any more chaotic, boom, Soulja Boy comes out of nowhere and lights everything back. He just jumps online and unleashes one of the most explicit celebrity accusations we've seen all year. He didn't beat around the bush. Instead, he posted a sentence so graphic, so bold, that people had to stop scrolling, rub their eyes, and reread it to make sure they weren't hallucinating. According to Soulja, Meek Mill allegedly let Diddy, let's just say, do some unholy activities to him. His words were thrown out into the public like a grenade, and Twitter absolutely imploded. Within seconds, the post caught fire. People were gasping, quote tweeting, arguing in the comments, and speculating like it was the Super Bowl of scandals. But as wild and unexpected as it seemed, this wasn't some random tantrum from Soulja. It wasn't just him waking up one morning and deciding to troll. This moment had layers, messy, bitter, jaw-dropping layers, and it all goes back to where this beef truly began. Let's rewind. This entire mess didn't start with studio drama, stolen beats, or leaked tracks. It wasn't about music at all. It started with a tweet. Because of course it did. It began when producer Cardo accused Soulja Boy of dissing Metro, Boomin's late mother, a heavy emotional accusation. That alone could have sparked some serious backlash, but out of the shadows, Meek Mill decided to insert himself into the mix. Despite having zero involvement in the issue, Meek jumped into the conversation and publicly called Soulja an idiot. But he didn't stop there. Meek took it a step further and strongly implied that if Soulja didn't stop running his mouth, something might happen to him. That was it. That was the moment the switch flipped. Soulja clapped back immediately, but he didn't go the usual route. No bars, no corny memes, no passive-aggressive quote tweets. He skipped the fluff and went for the jugular, dragging Diddy into the mess and delivering one of the most vulgar, nuclear-level insults we've seen in the rap game in years. Suddenly, what started as a typical online feud spiraled into a full-blown celebrity scandal, one laced with explicit allegations, rumors of abuse, and whispers of deep industry secrets. And at the center of this growing firestorm, a name the internet has been obsessed with lately: Diddy. Now, this wasn't just a random name drop. There was already fuel on this fire, and Soulja's comment was just the match. Because right around this same time, a bombshell lawsuit had been filed by music producer Lil Rod Jr., accusing Diddy of a long list of crimes: sexual misconduct, abuse, and secret relationships with unnamed male celebrities. One of those men, according to court documents, was described as a Philadelphia rapper who once dated Nicki Minaj. Let's be real, that description couldn't be more obvious unless it was printed in bold and underlined. To fans and gossip blogs alike, that Philly rapper screamed Meek Mill. So when Soulja Boy posted that wild allegation, it didn't come out of thin air. It was a direct hit thrown into an already ticking time bomb. And here's where things started spinning off the rails. Instead of taking the high road or calmly denying the rumors, Meek Mill went on a full-on Twitter meltdown. He didn't just respond, he unraveled. He fired off tweet after tweet, talking about hiring a private investigative team, claiming he was being framed, and insisting he had no idea what was going on. It was a digital panic spiral in real time. At one point, it felt like Meek had swapped out his phone for a microphone and was screaming into a black void, hoping someone, anyone, would believe him. But the thing is, when people are innocent, they usually don't act like they just got caught in a federal sting operation. Meek's over-the-top reaction only gave the rumors more oxygen. Twitter users started asking, if there's nothing to hide, why the breakdown? Every frantic tweet became ammo for speculation. And just when it looked like the situation couldn't spiral any further, it did. That's when a former bodyguard of Diddy's entered the picture. And this guy didn't just speak up. He dropped receipts. He claimed that people in the industry had always known Meek and Diddy were unusually close.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood shit.
According to him, when two rappers start dressing alike and showing up together to exclusive parties more than once, it's usually not a coincidence. He went on to say that Meek, once considered a street-certified rapper from Philly, had gotten caught up in the Hollywood weird, implying that his relationship with Diddy went far beyond music. But the real shocker came next. The Bodyguard claimed that Diddy's infamous parties weren't just industry mixers or flashy social events. He alleged they involved spiked drinks, guests blacking out, and, most disturbingly, people engaging in acts they couldn't even remember the next day. He described seeing a woman passed out in a car after one of Diddy's New Year's Eve parties. And then came the jaw-dropper. He said there were audio recordings from inside these parties. And in one of them, he claimed both Diddy and Meek Mill were heard engaging in explicit behavior. That alone was enough to send the internet into a frenzy. But wait, the madness wasn't done yet. Next up was actor Orlando Brown, a man known more for viral rants than reliable testimony. Still, when Orlando chimed in, people couldn't help but pay attention.
How did you feel when you saw this lawsuit that made it seem as if perhaps Diddy and Meek Mill had sex?
I mean, to each their own, and why would they not have sex when they're gay rappers?
They.
Do you think Meek Mill's gay?
We all know he's gay.
Who's we?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
I didn't know. It's news to me.
Everybody, Rick Ross knows.
He claimed he had heard the same recording, and flat out said one of the voices in it belonged to Meek Mill. You know it's bad, one fan tweeted. When Orlando Brown is fact-checking your tape. And as if the universe wanted to throw more fuel onto the fire, a video resurfaced. A birthday party clip showing Diddy throwing a lavish poolside celebration for Meek, both men shirtless, surrounded by other shirtless dudes, with Diddy smiling, calling Meek daddy, and saying how proud he was of him.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Now, in a different context, this might have come off as weird but wholesome bromance energy. But given the rumors, lawsuits, and audio allegations floating around, the internet saw that clip not as innocent but as suspicious confirmation. And the story wasn't just playing out online. According to several alleged insiders, things were heating up inside the courtroom too. Audio recordings, reportedly featuring Diddy engaged in male-on-male encounters, were played as evidence. The tapes were apparently so explicit, so graphic, that the courtroom went completely silent. No laughs, no whispers, just stunned silence. The names on the tape weren't officially revealed, but guess who the internet decided it was? Yep, Meek Mill. At this point, even people who couldn't name a single Meek Mill track were suddenly tuned into the drama like it was the final season of a scandal-filled Netflix series. The internet wasn't just watching, it was investigating. Reddit threads popped up overnight. TikTok detectives were breaking down the audio rumors frame by frame. And Twitter? Twitter was in full courtroom mode, with fans acting like they had passed the bar exam, just to debate whether Meek was guilty, or just the latest victim of the internet's favorite pastime, public humiliation. Sensing things had gone completely off the rails, Meek Mill tried to do damage control. He got back on Twitter and switched up the tone. Less, I'm being framed, more, it's not what you think. In this second wave of posts, Meek claimed the wildest thing he'd ever seen at a Diddy party was someone casually using cocaine. He tried to downplay it with a shrug, saying he didn't even like weed, trying to distance himself from the more disturbing allegations tied to those infamous parties. But the internet has a memory like an elephant on Adderall. It never forgets. Within hours, fans had pulled up old lyrics from Meek's own songs. One line in particular hit like a punch to the gut. I hope they forgive me for what I did, with Diddy. Suddenly, that line wasn't just a lyric. It became a clue, a breadcrumb in what was quickly turning into the music industry's messiest scandal in years. And just when you thought things had hit rock bottom, a new twist slithered into the story, this time involving Nicki Minaj. Yep, because somehow even she got dragged into the chaos. According to a growing corner of conspiracy Twitter, Nicki might have had a role in the leak of the alleged audio recordings. The theory: she paid someone to accidentally leak the tapes as revenge for how Meek treated her during and after their relationship. No hard evidence, of course, just lots of speculation, shady subtweets, and fans connecting dots that may or may not exist. Was it true? Maybe. Maybe not. But in the eyes of the internet, plausibility was enough to keep the theory alive. It gave the story a whole new angle and reignited old drama between Meek and Nicki that people were more than happy to revisit. And at this point, you had to stop and ask, how did we even get here? Seriously, how did we go from a petty online insult to a tangled web of accusations, federal lawsuits, possible revenge plots, and explicit court recordings? Soulja Boy throwing wild shots, Meek spiraling on Twitter, Diddy vanishing into silence like some Bond villain hiding out in a bunker full of secrets. It was starting to feel like a deleted season of Empire, one that was too controversial to air. But Soulja Boy wasn't done. After his initial tweet blew up, he doubled down. In live streams and follow-up posts, he claimed he had access to the tapes, or at least knew people who did. He warned Meek that he'd messed with the wrong one and insisted the truth would come out, whether Meek liked it or not. And while Soulja has a long, colorful history of trolling and exaggerating, this time felt different. Not because he suddenly became more trustworthy, but because what he was saying didn't exist in a vacuum. It was lining up with an actual federal investigation and multiple lawsuits already breathing down Diddy's neck. The timing? Too perfect. The allegations? Too specific. The silence from Diddy? Too loud. That's what made it all so unsettling. Soulja Boy's rants didn't feel like attention-seeking stunts anymore. They felt like possible leaks, dropped casually into the public just ahead of the storm. The story stopped being funny and started becoming dangerous. And poor Meek Mill, whether he was guilty, partially involved, or completely innocent, it didn't matter anymore. In the court of public opinion, perception is reality. And Meek's reaction, the panicked tweets, the inconsistent messaging, the lyrical breadcrumbs, all of it painted a picture of someone drowning in bad optics. His reputation wasn't just taking a hit. It was in full-on freefall. Every post was dissected like a crime scene. Every attempt to shift the narrative backfired. And every piece of new evidence, no matter how small or speculative, added more pressure. By now, his mentions were a war zone. His name was trending, for all the wrong reasons. His fans were either defending him blindly or slowly jumping ship. Meanwhile, Diddy, once the loudest, flashiest presence in any room, had gone eerily quiet. No more dancing on Instagram, no more champagne toasts in clubs, no interviews, no statements, no tweets. Just silence. Deafening, calculated silence. Behind the scenes, his legal team was reportedly working overtime. And within the industry, people started whispering like he was radioactive. Diddy's name wasn't just hot, it was toxic. A curse word in meetings. A liability in conversations, a ghost haunting the very industry he once ruled, and the internet? It was feasting. Every day, new clips, old interviews, forgotten tweets, all getting resurrected and reanalyzed, TikToks with wild theories, YouTube thumbnails with red circles, arrows, and question marks. Fans acting like full-time FBI agents, digging for truth in a digital landfill of rumors and receipts. Even the conspiracy crowd came out to play. Some believe the leaked audio is just the beginning, the tip of a much darker iceberg. Others say Soulja Boy is being used as a pawn, a distraction in a bigger takedown aimed at the industry's elite. There are whispers of revenge, betrayal, and long-simmering beefs finally boiling over. Whatever you believe, one thing's clear. This story isn't going anywhere. Meek Mill has officially become the face of one of the year's most chaotic scandals. His career is now tied to something far messier than music. And unless something massive shifts the narrative in his favor, he could be fighting this fire for a long, long time. Now let's be fair, these are still allegations. Nothing has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt in court, but that doesn't mean they don't have power. In today's world, where headlines matter more than facts, and perception trumps evidence, even unconfirmed rumors can destroy careers. And sometimes, just sometimes, the truth does come from the loudest, most unexpected voices. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's petty, and sometimes it's just the internet being the internet, eating popcorn while reputations burn. But buckle up. Because if that infamous audio recording ever leaks publicly, or if a judge confirms its authenticity in court with real names attached, this won't just be a celebrity scandal. It'll be a full-blown cultural reckoning. This isn't just about Soulja Boy versus Meek Mill. It's a peek behind the curtain of the music industry, a world where fame, power, secrecy, and scandal are often inseparable. So what do you think? Is Soulja Boy telling the truth? Is Meek just an innocent man caught in the blast radius? Or is there way more to this story than anyone's letting on? Drop your take in the comments. We're reading all of them. And don't forget, like this video, hit subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss the next twist in this insane saga.